Shit moms won't say.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Shit Moms Won't Say. This gorgeous creature you are looking at has devoted her time and her life to helping normalize lesbian families because, believe it or not, some people think we're not normal. Isn't that insane? That's totally insane. Anyway, this beautiful creature, thank you for being here. She started one of my favorite Instagram pages, Lesbian Moms Club, mom of three, Miss Shan Clay. Hello.
Hi.
By the way, I love that, like, so nobody saw what just happened, right? So, like, you're just kind of sitting there, like, very, very innocently, like, we've been set up all along.
I know, right?
Shannon's just like, if my phone falls in the middle of this, I'm going to be so embarrassed. This is terrible. Don't worry about it. We're all good. You look good. You're at a good angle. Well, welcome to my show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I feel like nobody knows, like, the face behind Lesbian Moms. Like, this is very
cool. You get the exclusive me because I waited. I wanted to post like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was like, okay, it's time for me to show who I am and be more personable on my page, which I am going to start. But I said, you know what? I'm going to let Jess have the exclusive me and then I'll share it out to the world.
Look at that shit.
But yeah, I'm excited.
Cool. I love it. I love it. So as you know, we are in the middle of Pride. We are not in the middle of Pride. We're filming right before Pride, but this will air in the middle of Pride. So I am only having on queer moms during Pride. We're doing all kinds of cool shit for Pride because it's a very important month. It is not just a month for Target to put out rainbows. I want to hear about your fertility journey before we kind of jump into all of the other stuff, because every other mom I've had on, like I was saying to you before we started filming, we all have like similar journeys because we didn't just like manifest a baby, but we're also different. So I want to hear you have 3 kids, kind of give me the age ranges and how they're here, what happened.
Yeah, it's a big age range, actually. My son, which is my biological child, he's 14. He'll be 15 this year. So I have a teenager, thinks he's grown. And then I have a 6-year-old. And then also I have a baby that I kind of like in the transition of adopting, and she's 1.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, they're like, they're really far apart from each other. And I'll tell you a little bit about my son. He was actually, I actually was in a relationship with a guy. And
all
of course,
there.
which is, it's all start. I know, right? Let's do it down. But honestly, I think my journey, when I started, I kind of already knew that I was, but because of how the world received, you know, the LGBTQ plus community, it was like hush hush, or, you know, in the religious part of things, it was like, you're going to go to hell, like, you know, but now I tell them to go to hell. But anyways, but they tell us that, you know, you're going to hell, you know. But yes, my son was conceived with a guy. So, and then my daughter was, because I didn't biologically have her. She was conceived at the California Cryobank with an X. So, and then, like I said, the 1-year-old is in transition of adoption. So.
Very cool. You're right. You were right. That is like a unique way to have kids. Very cool. I love it.
Yeah.
By the way, having a baby with a man is much cheaper. So
right, it was free.
Good for you. It was totally free. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do next. I always joke about that with my wife. I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. Just go. It's cheaper. It's cheaper.
Right. I really wish that it was simple for us, because I don't feel like we should be punished. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's punishment, because I know it costs for them to get all that stuff together. Sure. But I'm saying, like, it feels like a punishment that we have to pay for something that is naturally, you know, free. Now I can understand, like, you have fertility issues and you have to go through these different doctors and treatments, and of course that costs. But just for people who don't have those issues, and how they can just normalize as getting pregnant without the, you know, the cost behind it.
I'm crazy costs. It's nuts.
Right.
It's not, that, actually, most people don't even know. It's like a vial of sperm, which is like this big, is like $900. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. It's a privilege to be able to afford that kind of shit. That's nuts.
That is true. That is true. Especially with the pandemic that went on last year. I know a lot of people are really hurting. Especially just imagine the ones that were thinking of conceiving last year and this year. I know it has to be hard. And then like being, in the expensive range. And unfortunately, for most parents, they are people that are looking to be parents, they can't afford that, I didn't ever have that issue, but I definitely feel, the parents that are coming along to soon to be parents or parents that are looking to continue their family, I can definitely understand their pain when it comes to how much it costs.
For sure. Yeah. No, we're in the same boat. We're very fortunate we're able to do it. There are so many who can't. There are so many who can't, and that sucks. But anyway, thank you for sharing. Let's get into more fun stuff before we get into some more serious stuff.
Right.
I want to hear, because listen, Lesbian Moms Club is so cool because it really highlights just lesbian families, like that there's no like one stereotypical lesbian family. And like, we'll chat about that. Like, that's what I love about your page. It's not like showy. It's not like stupid for the sake of being stupid. You're not like making lame ass jokes about things. You're like, no, these are lesbian families. This is what they look like. They're beautiful. Here you go. I think that's great. So thank you. We'll chat about it in a second. But first, we will get into the Big Mom 3. So first question, very easy. Although some people are like, well, I don't know. Let's see. So first question, the Big Mom 3. Did you always know you wanted to be a mom?
Yes, absolutely. I did. Cool. And actually, I wanted a big family starting off. And then it went to like, oh, I'll just have 2 kids. As long as I get my girl and my boy, I'm good. And then now it goes back to, oh, I want a bigger family, which is looks like it's getting to that point now to be a bigger family.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So second question, Big Mom 3. What is the shittiest or most backhanded piece of advice you've ever gotten from another mother or parent?
Yes, my son, he was a newborn, and I don't know if it was, I think it is shitty and backhanded, actually. Yeah. I was told that, I was at a person's house, another parent's house, and her child was around about 14 or 15, and they were smoking and drinking. And I'm like, are you really going to sit here and smoke and drink with your child? And they was like, oh yes, this is something you need to do with your child. I recommend it. Like, you should smoke and drink with your kids so they won't be prone to do it with anyone else. And I'm like, what? I'm not smoking and drinking. I mean, that means, yeah, go ahead. If I can do it with my mom, I can do it with other people. I'm not going to do that. But I thought that was the most shittiest advice that I've ever had, for someone to tell me to do that with my child. So
that's awful advice. Like, we try to normalize on this show the idea of like, whatever works for you. That doesn't fall into the category. Oh, right. That's awful advice. Like, I understand, like, I don't know, if your kids are older and you're like, hey, have a beer. Right. Maybe. You're like, hey, smoke a little weed. Maybe. If they're like much older and like at a certain maturity level, just like smoking and drinking around your kids to be like, well, they're not going to do it anyway. Then that's terrible. That's terrible advice.
Horrible. I just can't. Like I said, we know our kids are going to do things that we didn't teach them when they get able to get out in the world and start driving and stuff. But I'm not going to put a cigarette or weed or liquor in my kid's hand and say, hey, go ahead and do it. I'm going to teach them, like, hey, if you were introduced to this stuff, this is what you need to do. You need to be cautious, and things like that. I would prepare them in that way, but not prepare them by giving it to them and doing it with them. No, even though I don't do neither of those. But I mean, of course, we've all been down that road where I have. But I would
That's
never.
Why I don't do exactly. We've been down that road in a big way, so we don't do them at all anymore. I'm drinking our seltzer this evening. Right. But like, but you have almost 15-year-olds. I mean, you're kind of getting to that age range of like, you may start doing shitty stuff. I was doing shitty stuff when I was 14. Definitely. My parents, and whatever about that, but like, they didn't give it to me.
No.
Crazy. That's awful advice.
If I was caught with that stuff, I probably would be grounded for life. So.
Wow. All right. Well, that's terrible. That's awful advice. Okay. Third question, Big Mom 3. What is a skill or superpower you had before becoming a mom that you feel has really helped you as a mom?
Can I say two? I want to say a skill and a superpower.
Go ahead.
Right. I say patience for one. I have always had patience. I used to be a psychologist with the school board, and then I started counseling kids, and I actually had my son at the time, but before even that, I was told that I had a great deal of patience, but they were always complimenting, like, how can you be so calm with these kids? How are you just so laid back? Like, and how are you just so patient? Like, but yeah, that is definitely something that has definitely helped me, especially with a teenager. Oh my gosh. Like if I didn't have the patience, I don't know if I'd be talking to you right now.
Well, do you have, so like my wife has her master's in psychology and she's always worked with like kids with special needs. Now she's a doula, but like prior to being a doula, she did. Yeah, she's a really cool person. She has patience like no one else for very specific things. So like she said to me, like, I have unlimited patience for children. I have unlimited patience for this. And then there's like certain things, like if adults are acting shitty, she's like, she can't even deal with it. So like, is it specific patience or are you like patient all around?
I'm going to be honest with you. It's just specific. I can, especially as I got older, it's like, I can't deal with this. Like, what do you especially when you have sense, like, and you're acting like you don't have sense. Like, I can't deal with that. I walk away very easily from that. And I do tend to get a little bit of upset when it comes to people, like, especially grown people doing stuff that's just, it's not the norm. I'm sorry, but I guess in my eyesight, but yeah, that's awesome. I want to say this real quick. I know this may be off script, but my son, he has autism.
Oh, wow.
So I am like so happy to hear that your wife is down that path.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's definitely needed. It takes a village, as they say, and it definitely does. Oh gosh. And that's why I said patience was definitely something
you have that
I needed.
It's incredible. It takes a really special person to do something like that in that field. And it also takes an equally special person to parent someone with autism. Like I feel like people who are really gifted, because people who have autism are just these like magical people, like parents who are gifted a kid with autism they really can handle it. Like they should, in theory, like I know a lot of great parents with kids with autism and like, they're just magical, like what they can do with their kids is so cool. That's amazing. That's really cool. I didn't know. That's awesome. See, we're meeting her for the first time, the face. Now you know all about her. I love it. And the second one, you had two. So
the second one I call a superpower because multitasking. I have to like literally juggle all over the place when it comes to like work, because like I work from home. So I've been working from home forever. My son is homeschooled. So it's like doing all these things and still trying to maintain a career, is definitely a need for the multitasking, because I'm like literally trying to fix food for him. And then the next thing I know, I'm like getting a call on my phone. And then the next thing I need to send his email, and it's like 3 things in one. And definitely multitasking has definitely helped me a lot when it comes to dealing with the kids. So
cool. Well, you kind of like set up the next part of this really nicely, because I want to talk about like, you're sort of a jack of all trades. Like you do all kinds of cool stuff. You have this great relationship with PFLAG. You're on the board at one of their divisions. I know you own like a couple of businesses. Like talk about that a little bit. And like, I obviously want to like lead this into Lesbian Moms Club and how that started. What I'm getting at is that, I think that there's a very specific way to support like lesbian owned businesses. There's a very specific way to like, engage with lesbian owned businesses. So like, how are you using what you're doing to drive that forward?
I'm definitely putting myself out there, like for as like volunteering, being a voice for people that may not have a voice. Because like even with PFLAG, I'm not only on the board, but I also facilitate at least 2 Tuesdays out of the month here in Georgia. So right now, well, we're doing Zoom. They're fixing to start opening things back up to in person. But before that, we were in person. So just basically volunteering at these places and giving back as much as you can. For as like, if you're speaking on just like spending money versus time, just being, I mean, even if you were to share some things like a person post that is in the LGBT plus community, or if they have like merchandise or something like that they're selling, just sharing it, you know, sharing people's voices, opinions, products, services, whether it be with a friend or social media. I think just doing anything that has to do with being able to give back and is really big for me. I've always been that type of person. And again, that's one of my businesses, like a nonprofit, just being able to give back is always refreshing and it always helps.
That's great. That's so cool. And then of course that's now led to Lesbian Moms Club, which is, it's so great. Like I said, like it's not fluffy in any way. Like it's really just like, here are lesbian families, here's what people look like. And like you shared with me via email, like why you started it, what it looks like what you hope to do with it. But I would love for you to share with everybody, like, why'd you start it? What's the goal of it? Like, where's it going? And then of course, like, where can people find you? Of course, everybody should follow it, even if you're not a lesbian.
Right. Even if you're not, allies are always the best. Because I tell people all the time,
real allies.
Yes, absolutely. Because you do have fake allies. I'm sorry to say, I've met them a couple times. But yes, if you are truly an ally, definitely don't shy away because it says lesbians. Or even if you're not a mom and you're truly supportive of the lesbian community in any type of way, you can always follow, because it always takes people outside of us to help us. You know, of course, people expect us as lesbians to support us. But if you're, you know, on the outside and you are an ally and you're supporting us, it just goes a longer way for me, you know? For sure. So definitely what I started is because I'm actually in a few mom clubs on Facebook. And it didn't feel right. It's so, when I posted, because like, I'm not ashamed to say that I'm a lesbian, of course. So, and I always want to put that out there because I don't need, you know, any extra, like if our kids are meeting up or something like that. And then I actually had an opportunity to post something, you know, about something I had going on. And then I said I was a lesbian, and you had all these people like, oh yeah, for Facebook. And then when we met up, it was totally different vibe. And it was just like, you know, didn't hardly want their kids to play with mine. And it was just weird. And I just didn't like that feeling. And I'm like, we have to start normalizing this, because, you know, it's like taking the second guessing out of, hey, do you really want to be friends with me? Or do you really want our kids to play together? Now, if you get a group that says Lesbian Moms Club and you in it, like there's no second guessing. Like you're here for some reason, you know, and it's not just, you know, to side eye me all the time. So definitely didn't see many people out there that had these type of social things, like whether it was virtually or if it was in person. I just didn't see it. So I was like, you know what, let me start something new and let me make it diverse. You know, it's not just about Black, not just about white, Mexican, Asian, it's about all of us, you know, and it's coming together, fighting for one thing, which is to normalize lesbians, also to pretty much kind of put us out there in the world where it's like, hey, look, we're normal people. This is not something that we really want to, you know, put out there in the front, but we have to, because people are not looking at it as if it's, you know, normal. Like my fiance and I actually had an incident where this was a while back though. We had took my son to the ER, and they asked him, like, you know, who are they to you? And he was like, mom and mama. And they were just like, oh, okay, mom and grandma. I'm like, what?
You're like, first of
Like,
all,
how did-
which one of us is grandma? Thank you.
I know, it was just like, what the heck? Like, are you serious right now? So it was really, really weird to be put out there like that, when you have to say, no, this is my wife, like this is my girlfriend, or this is my partner. Like, why do I have to make that specific? Because if she was a man, it wouldn't even be like that. It would just automatically, oh, your husband, or oh, your boyfriend, it's just automatically assumed. Why couldn't it be my brother, or my dad? Like most people say, either it's going to be sister, grandma, or mom. It's never the other parent,
Oh,
so
no.
that, yeah, I'm over it at this point. And like I said, that was part of the reason too that I started Lesbian Moms Club, and just to be able to give back in a way too, using the platform to, like I said, normalize it, to help any way I can, with, even if it's to continue helping people and supporting their families in whatever way that I can. So it's there, just to kind of normalize it, like you said at the beginning.
I love it. That's awesome. I love it so much. It's such a cool thing that you're doing. So before we start to wrap up, I want to talk a little bit, because you're engaged. Hello, you're engaged, you're married, you're getting hitched, and you want more kids, want more babies.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Okay, when's the wedding? Where am I going? When am I invited?
Absolutely. Like, I definitely thought about something small because of COVID that hit. But right now, to be honest with you, I'm still thinking on a date because of the fact COVID hit, and it was supposed to be sooner than it is going to be now. So it's kind of like it's in the air. I thought about July 4th. I thought about October, but this is just the part of just basically, going ahead and doing it, and then maybe a big celebration later.
Cool.
And then, I thought about, streaming it later on and stuff, like if it gets to that point where we need to do that. But right now it's still in the air. Like, I don't really know, because we have just been busy with pretty much kind of like with everything that's going on right now, and moving, and where it's just like kind of got pushed back. And as we both said, it's just a piece of paper, but it's also but it's important though. Like I told my fiance, it's very important, because with lesbians, we're already not recognized enough. And just having that paper does mean a little bit more to us than if it was a straight couple.
It really does.
Because it just gives us an opportunity to grow a little bit more within our family and things like that. And like I said, I'm going through that situation with my ex. Like, I have to pay child support, but I can't see the child. So it's just weird.
Fun. No, it's fun. Being gay is really fun sometimes. And that's why it's so cool that you're using your platform to say, like, hey, these things suck sometimes. And like, we're all here and we're all normal. And this is very like, we're all pretty just like typical people. And like, we should have the same rights as everyone else, very easy, like a very easy thing to say, shouldn't be a question really. But I look forward to you getting married. That's cool. I love it. Did your audio go out? I see you doing audio things. Yeah. Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Oh. Shan, can you hear me?
Okay. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Are you good?
Okay. I think what happened is my thing just went silent. Like, it had it up in the corner where it went off. I'm so sorry about that.
No worries at all. And I see, and I'll cut this obviously. I see it saying my meeting time is running out, which is so weird because I'm on a paid plan, but we're going to wrap up anyway. And then we'll pause and we'll do the little segment. So we'll cut here and we'll go. That's fine. So okay, cool. Well, I can't wait to come to your wedding. I'm very excited. Thank you for inviting me. Anyway, so let's start to wrap up. So I have two final questions. The first question, and I love this because you have all different age ranges of kids. So what is one thing you cannot live without as a mom?
Oh, this is going to be a cliche answer, but my kids.
Your kids?
I don't know where I would be. Yeah, I don't know where I would be without them. They make me stronger every day. And
so you're the first person to ever give me that answer?
Really?
Mm-hmm. Most people like vodka.
That is true. If I drunk, I probably would have said that, but I definitely, like, honestly, you can't live with them, can't live without them. But honestly, my kids, like, they really do make me stronger. And I don't know where I would be today if it wasn't for them making me stronger as being a stronger person. So
that's a great answer. Okay, final question. Here we go. What is something you know now that you wish you knew before becoming a mom?
I think I knew this, but I didn't know it. Like, well, I'm gonna say I didn't know it. I heard it. I heard that it was hard. And I didn't realize how hard it was. It really is one of the toughest jobs that we could ever have in life. Yeah. So that is something that I wish I would have known, like, no, this is really what it is. Like, if someone could have just let me foresee my life and how hard it was, then I probably would have come in it so gullible, like, yay, I'm a mommy, you know, and then it's like, oh, I'm a mom.
Oh shit, like I'm responsible for not killing these kids. Yeah.
Like, yes. Oh my God. Like, I'm a mom now. And then it got real from there. So yes, it's definitely something I wish I'd have known.
Good one. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here. So tell me, where can people follow you? Because again, if they don't follow you, we're gonna tag it out. You better be following her. Now you know who she is. Right. There's no like this is her.
Right. Yes.
Here she is. Where can people find you?
I am actually on Instagram right now. I have a new blog that's fixing to come out. It's called Am I a Lesbian? Am I Bisexual? So it's going to be a really good one. And it's about my life. You know, people saying that I was bisexual just because I had a child by man. So that's going to be a one to tune into, which is lesbianmomsclub.com. So you can find that, and I will definitely post it on Instagram, which is the main place that you can follow me, which is at Lesbian Moms Club.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here again. Be sure you're following her. And thank all of you for following along with Shit Moms Won't Say. Happy Pride, and we will see you next week.
Shit Moms Won't Say.